نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين آمين يا رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you doing today? I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts all your ibadah and He brings you closer to Him, as these are the last days and nights of Ramadan of 2024. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. So since we are very close to Ramadan, to ending the Ramadan and to Eid al-Fitr. So Eid al-Fitr, when we say Eid al-Fitr, it brings us to Fitranah, Fitr, right? What is Zakat al-Fitr? So today that is what we're going to learn about. That is what we're going to know, inshallah. What is Zakat al-Fitr? Zakat al-Fitr is a kind of charity sadaqah that is obligatory at the time of breaking the fast of Ramadan. Now the word zakah is connected by idafa, or genitive structure in Arabic grammar, to fitr, because the occasion of breaking the fast is the reason why the zakah becomes obligatory. Now, wisdom of Zakatul Fitr, Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made Zakatul Fitr obligatory as a means of purifying the fasting person from idle talk and foul language, and to feed the poor. Whoever pays it before the prayer, it is an accepted zakah, means the prayer of Eid. And whoever pays it after the Eid prayer, it is just a kind of charity, sadaqah, just a regular charity then. And so purifying means purifying the soul of the one who has fasted Ramadan. With regard to the word foul language, Ibn Atish said, foul language refers to obscene speech, and feeding the poor refers to the feed that is edible. Whoever pays it before the prayer means before Salatul Eid. It is accepted zakah, right? So here zakah means sadaqatul fitr. And then Umar ibn al-Aziz radiallahu ta'ala, he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam paid zakatul fitr, then he went out for the prayer, right? And that is the Eid prayer. And then after that, is zakatul fitr compulsory? That is again a question that is asked very frequently. So Zakatul Fitr, the correct view is that it is for obligatory, because Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala said the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made Zakatul Fitr obligatory, and because of the consensus of the scholars, ijma', that is fard, right? And then when should the Zakatul Fitr be paid? Zakatul Fitr becomes obligatory when the sun sets on the last day of Ramadan. Anyone who gets married, has a baby born to him, or becomes Muslims before the sun sets on that day, has to give Zakatul Fitr on behalf of himself or his new wife or new baby. But if that happens after sunset, he does not have to give it. Whoever dies after sunset on the night of Fitr, Sadaqatul Fitr must be given on his behalf. This is what Ahmad stated. So who should pay Zakatul Fitr? Zakatul Fitr is obligatory on Muslims. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala said the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made Zakatul Fitr 1 sa'a of dates or 1 sa'a of barley obligatory on the Muslims, slave and free, male and female, young and old. Yeah. So the hadith of Nafi indicates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made it obligatory only on the Muslims, which is in accordance with the book of Allah. May He be glorified, because He has made zakah as a purification for the Muslims, and purification can only be for the Muslims, right? So it is obligatory on those who are able to pay. That is what Al-Shafi'i said. Everyone who at the beginning of Shawwal has enough food for himself and those whom he is supporting for that day and has enough to give Zakatul Fitr on behalf of them and himself should give it on behalf of them and himself. If he only has enough to give on behalf of some of them, then he should give on behalf of some of them. Then who is financially difficulty, who's in financial difficulty is not obligated to give Zakatul Fitr. There is no difference among the scholars in this regard. The obligation is determined by whatever or not a person can afford it. Yes, whether a person can afford it or not. Whoever has 1 sa'a, more than he needs for himself, and those whom he is obliged to support on the night and day of Eid has enough is not financial difficulty. Whoever does not have anything more than he needs is in financial difficulty, so he is not obligated to pay anything in this case. Yeah. So, and the Muslim should give on his own behalf and on behalf of those whom he spent, such as wives and relatives, if they cannot give it on their own behalf. If they are able to, it is better for them to give it themselves, because the command is addressed to them in the first place. And the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said that it is 1 sa of dates or 1 sa of barley obligatory on the Muslims, slave and free, male and female, young and old, commanded that it should be given before the people went out to prayer, salah. Right. So a man, if someone has to pay zakatul fitr on his behalf and on behalf of those whom he is supporting, if they are Muslim, and if has more than he needs to spend on them that he can give, then the mother and father and grandparents and great grandparents, etc., may have to pay zakatul fitr on behalf of their children and grandchildren, etc. And the children may have to pay zakatul fitr on behalf of their parents and grandparents and great grandparents, etc., if they're obliged to spend on their maintenance, right? So a man has to pay on behalf of his wife, and even if she has money of her own, and his children and parents if they are poor, and his daughter if she is married but the marriage has not yet been consummated. And if the son is rich, he does not have to give zakatul fitr. So here we learn about all this sadaqatul fitr or fitr charity is, that how it is obligatory. The object of providing sadaqatul fitr is to cleanse oneself of sins committed in the state of fasting. Sadaqatul fitr has to be given before leaving for the Ramadan Eid prayers, that is the Eid prayers, right? So otherwise it will count as ordinary charity. If you give it after the Eid prayers, then this charity would be an ordinary regular charity. But if it is Fitranah, then that has to be paid before the Eid prayer. Those whom are entitled to receive zakat are the people that deserve to be given sadaqah. And Ibn Abbas relates, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the underlying idea in imposing sadaqatul fitr is twofold. One of the arrange for feeding the indigent, and secondly it prioritize for any sinister or indecent acts of persons observing fast, right? So it propitiates for any sinister or indecent acts of persons observing fast. If it is given before the Eid prayer, it amounts to sadaqatul fitr, and after the prayer it is treated merely as charity. The quantity of fitr's charity is 1 sa', which is equivalent to 2.5 kilograms per head. First charity is obligatory on every Muslim, slave or free, man or female, minor or major, one who has fasting or not, one who possesses nisab minimum standard or not. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala transmits that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ has prescribed 1 sa', that is going to be 2.5 kg of dates or maize as fitr charity for each Muslim, slave or free, man or woman, minor or major, right? And one who does not hold food supply for 1 day and night is exempt from fitr charity. This person who doesn't have, who does not hold any food supply for 1 day and night, he is exempt from giving fitr charity. So fitr charity may be distributed preferably in the shape of grains. Fitr charity should be distributed out of such commodities as are in the daily use, like wheat, rice, maize, date, raisins, or cheese. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu ta'ala relates, we used to distribute as fitr charity in the measure of 1 sa' from wheat, or from barley, or from dates, or from raisin, or from cheese. 1 sa' means 2 hands put together, twice. So the time to distribute fitr charity commences after breaking the last fast, but it can also be done a day or two before the Eid. The head of the family should distribute fitr charity on behalf of all the members of his household, such as wife, children, and servants. Nafi radiallahu ta'ala narrates Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala distribute fitr charity on behalf of the members, young and old, of his household, land even on behalf of his sons. Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala distributed it among people who accepted it, and it was a day or two before Eid al-Fitr, right? So these are all the the prescriptions, and these are all the detailed ahadith that tells us that the obligation of paying the zakatul fitr is on us, right? So we must pay it just a day before Eid al-Fitr, before going to Salah. Yes, that is a duty on us as Muslim, and this purifies our Ramadan's fasting, inshallah. With that, inshallah, I take a leave, and will come up, inshallah, again with something again important. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.